World leaders have been congratulating Donald Trump on his victory. Ukraine's President Zelensky said he hoped the new president's approach could bring peace in his country closer, while Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu praised the win as a new beginning. European leaders were quick to offer congratulations, although there is some private concern about what his victory could mean for European security. As Jeremy Bowen reports, during his first term, Donald Trump often alarmed his allies with sometimes impulsive and naive overtures towards the world's strongman here, with Kim Jong-un, the ruler of North Korea. And then we fell in love. Okay, no, really, he wrote me beautiful letters. Trump always wants to be the biggest man in the room, but he'll face more complicated challenges now than the first time around since the summit in Finland in 2018, when he met Russia's President Putin. America's authoritarian rivals are now forming an axis. Putin couldn't fight the war in Ukraine without help from North Korea and China. Trump might find the plan he pushed repeatedly during his presidential campaign this year to end the war simply doesn't work. I will have that war finished and done and settled before I get to the White House as president-elect. I will get that done. Ukraine's President Zelensky couldn't fight on against Russia without American military aid. Zelensky will fear Joe Biden's armed supply eyes might be replaced with Trump's arm twisting to concede land to Russia. To make a deal on social media, Zelensky offered congratulations and appealed to Trump's self-image as a strong leader for Ukraine. Peace through strength is another way of asking for more weapons. Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine has also towed America's Western European allies, a hard lesson that without U.S. military power they would struggle to defend themselves. Trump will redouble the demands of his first term that the Europeans need to spend more on defense. If not, he might threaten once again to take the U.S. out of NATO. From the Middle East came congratulations from Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on what he called history's greatest comeback. Israel needed a lot of American help to defend itself against Iranian missiles. The Israelis couldn't fight on multiple fronts without U.S. military and diplomatic support. President Biden would not use that leverage to insist on a ceasefire. Middle East watchers here in Washington believe he might want to impose an American agenda on Israel's. The Middle East is also on the edge of drawing America into another major war in the Middle East, and I don't think Donald Trump, based on his record, wants that. So it's not that he cares about Palestinians or cares about Lebanon or cares about Iran. He may very well not agree with the theory of the case that Bibi Netanyahu has, which is to expand the war and, if need be, draw the United States into it. China will be a major challenge in the second Trump term. Since his state visit to President Xi Jinping in Beijing in 2017, China has made bigger strides towards rivaling America as the world's strongest power on the eve of the election. Trump repeated his plan to put a big tax on imports from China and others, also known as a trade war. And I'm doing the same thing with China. We're going to tariff the hell out of them. Longer term, a real war is another risk with growing military tension between China and Taiwan. Before he leaves office, Donald Trump might have to decide whether America will fight to defend an island 7,000 miles away across the Pacific. It's only 100 miles from the Chinese mainland. Jeremy Bowen, BBC News, Washington. So a promise to end the war in Ukraine before he even steps into the White House in January, plus uncertainty over how Donald Trump plans to work with Europe and NATO. In a moment, we'll speak to Kat Adler in Budapest, but first, Steve Rosenberg is in SOI in southern Russia. Steve, first of all, what does this VI tree for Donald Trump mean? Do you think for Vladimir Putin? Well, we might find that out from the man himself tomorrow, CLI, because Vladimir Putin is expected here in the mountains around SOI tomorrow. At an event, he's expected to give his reaction to Donald Trump's election victory. Now I know that Russian officials today have been working overtime, trying to play things down and create the impression, and it's only an impression, I think, that everything is okay, but actually I think unpredictability is a big concern in Russia. With Donald Trump. They remember what happened in Trump's first term. They were big hopes. They were dashed. And in fact, the headline in one Russian newspaper tomorrow reads like this: Donald Trump is an unguided missile. He could fly in any direction. So there is concern about what Donald Trump could mean for Russia, on the other hand.